Hey y'all, please tell me if the audio is horrible because it usually is right in the first couple minutes of the stream. I've done a little bit more work this time to make sure it's not horrible though. All right, thanks. How's it going, y'all? Hello, Stefan and Joe and Michael and Gus. Gus says another way of getting attention for the channel is to reach out to Thought Slime. He has a portion of all his shows called Solidarity Corner where he promotes other shows. I think that that's something I should probably look into. Working with other channels is definitely in the works. It's a bit off, but we can hear you fine. I can't change it back to ultra low latency because I'm already streaming. But at least the audio quality is good. Usually it starts off terrible. Hey, YouTube man. Hey, Joe. I'm doing well, Michael. How are you? I have a presentation for you all today. I don't think it'll be any longer than like 30 or 40 minutes. And then after my presentation is over, I'm going to answer questions. So if you have a question or you want to put something in the chat that ends in a question mark, just save it for the end and we will have all the time in the world to speak about it. I promise. I'm planning for the stream to go to like 1:30 or 2 p.m. Central Time, so I'm not in any rush to like go offline or anything like that. Hi, Warren. Did you ever see the connection between Hayek and Trotsky? No, I never saw that connection. Maybe in the Q&A section you can enlighten me about it. All right, so I'm gonna get down to business here and show you all what I've been working on. We're gonna talk about this channel and my plans for it in the upcoming year, and what I'm planning to do in 2021 and beyond. And then after I'm done telling you guys all those details, we'll talk about whatever you want to speak about. So right now we're looking at my Patreon homepage. And I want to start off the stream by just thanking the people who have begun supporting me in the past 2 months. So January and February, and I'm just going to shout you all out one at a time now because you all are the real reason that I'm doing this today, and you deserve your recognition. So thank you to Federico Angel, to Enter KRZYSZ. Thank you to Michael Saikana. Thank you to Gosh Darn Catman. Thank you to Tycho. Thank you Boogie Down. Thank you Mark Brooks. Thank you Andre Oliveira Diaz. Thank you Sebastian Reyes. Thank you Nicholas Ellis Brown. Thank you Dagger Dan. Thank you Films for Action. Thank you Andrew Farmer. Thank you Brian Gallagher. Thank you Mathman Sam. Thank you Philip Brandel. And thank you, Jack Coleman. Thank you, Michael Hines. Thank you, Robot. And that's it. So you all are an integral part of today's presentation, and I think it's only right that we start off by thanking you. I can't thank y'all enough for coming through for me. To be honest, I've never really wanted to make an asking for money video in my whole life, but COVID has kind of forced my hand. And I decided that I'd rather use this moment of uncertainty to lean harder into my passion rather than to back out. And you guys are the ones who are making this gamble pay off for me. So the whole point of the stream today is to get more people to join you. So for those who are watching, let me try to make a case to you for why supporting my channel financially is going to be worth your time in the long run. Like I said, I'm only planning on presenting my case for like 30 or 40 minutes max. And then after that, I'm going to answer questions and we can chat and make conversation for as long as you all want to. So yeah, let me just get started. So let's start with the Going Pro video, which was the video that I released 7 days ago. Um, we have the video analytics up right here, and it covers quite a bit of ground on what I actually want to talk about today. So if you haven't seen this video, just take a 5 minute break from the stream, go watch it, and then return here so that you're fully up to speed. I'm going to cover some of the things that I said in this video in greater detail. And I'm also going to talk about things that I didn't bring up in that video, but that will be towards the end. Um, so to be honest, this video hasn't gotten seen that much, but the people who have seen it have made a tremendous impact in the last week, which makes me hopeful that as more people see it, the more impact it will have as the year progresses. Um, I'm just honestly kind of surprised that my 9,200 subscribers haven't really latched onto it yet. But I think that this stream itself will help quite a bit after it's complete. Um, and if it's possible for you to share this video, please consider doing so because it would help out a lot. But for now, let's talk about the actual content of the video and how this stream is going to be, it's going to elaborate on the things that I spoke about in this video. So the main ask of that video was that I achieve $1,250 per month in monthly support on Patreon. So let's look at my Patreon earnings page right now and see how near or far that goal actually is. So right now what we're looking at is my Patreon earnings page. And as you can see, my earnings have improved quite a lot in January and February. And this is true for a number of reasons. The first was that I finally enabled the annual membership option on Patreon, and quite a few of you have taken advantage of that since I enabled it. If you don't know what that is, it basically means that you can pay upfront for 12 months of support at a 16% discount. So let's say, for example, you wanted to support at the highest Patreon tier I have, which is $10 per month. If you were to choose the annual membership option, you would end up paying me like slightly over $100 all at once instead of $120 over the course of an entire year. And then you get charged the annual price again after 12 months unless you cancel. Now, from the perspective of a creator like myself, there are definitely advantages and disadvantages to this annual membership option. For me, it's great because it allows me to get almost an entire year of support up front. And it also signals to me that this particular patron is really down for the mission of this channel, which I really love to see. The only downside I can see to this is that the annual memberships don't really sustain you over the long term since, let's be honest, you're perfectly capable of spending that money all at once if you're not careful. And you're not going to slowly accumulate it like month after month like you normally would. And also, it doesn't boost the monthly income figure as it appears on your homepage, which you can see here. So this still reads $308 if you can see where my mouse is. So the annual memberships don't really figure into this number. But what that basically means is that even the patrons who choose to contribute monthly are still quite valuable if you choose to donate that way. So this earnings tab, it really also illustrates how much Patreon actually takes from this number in fees. So if you see where my mouse is now, the combined support that I'm receiving in terms of both annual and monthly memberships is actually $692 in February. But by the time Patreon's fees have been taken out, it's all the way down to $630. So that's just $60 taken out in fees. And so the point of that is, if my goal is to make $1,250 per month on Patreon, in reality, we're going to have to exceed that number to compensate for Patreon's fees. But still, $630 in February, that is nothing to scoff at. That's literally 50% of my goal. And the year 2021 is still very young. So who knows what that number will be a year from now. And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, this is thanks to you all who have stepped up in the last week. This is all you. And my hope is that I can start operating this channel in a way that starts creating regular content and value for its viewers instead of making y'all wait like months and months for a video like I've been doing up to this point. So let's get into how I'm actually planning on doing that. By the way, hello, Nestor, and hello, Scott. So right now, what we're going to talk about is the various changes that I'm planning to make on how I run my Patreon campaign. I think in the past, I've kind of neglected this platform, and as a result, there hasn't been a whole lot of activity. But I'm planning to change that. So the first thing that I think I'm going to do to combat the large stretches of inactivity on the channel is by hosting YouTube live streams, just like this one, except they're going to be unlisted and they're going to be exclusive for patrons. Um, and when those streams are over, I'm going to upload a monthly compilation of the best parts of each stream to YouTube so the YouTube subscribers can see the snippets of the streams that are actually taking place on Patreon. Um, what this basically guarantees is that I'm going to be checking in with my patrons at least once a week, and my channel is going to see an upload at least once a month, no matter what. And in the past, I've been reluctant to host a lot of streams on YouTube because I didn't want the channel to get flooded with stream content that completely outnumbers my political essays. But I think that this will be a happy medium. You know, if I do the actual streams on Patreon and then I upload the highlights of each stream to YouTube, then both parties will be satisfied. Now, what these streams will actually be like is still kind of up in the air for me, but I do think that there's loads of potential. Um, we could actually I could actually do my research for the next neoliberalism video. You know, I could like stream myself tracking down different sources, or like even having my word processor open or something, reading passages from different sources and seeing if I can incorporate it into the next script, or something like that. We could also read daily news and talk about different current events that are happening in the world today. I think a lot of my viewers are actually kind of frustrated that I haven't been speaking about current events since I'm so wrapped up in this 20th century history. And I think that streams could actually be an antidote to that as well. And now that Trump is out of office, I don't really feel as much dread about checking daily news anymore. So I think that this could be a great way to have weekly conversations that actually are current, that aren't just trapped in the 20th century, about, Hayek and liberalism and all this other stuff that's been dominating my channel for like 3 years now. Um, and also, I think the streams could just be for having fun. Like, I play online games, and there are plenty of other leftist channels that heavily incorporate gaming content, which has always seemed like a highly advanced form of like dark magic to me. Like, you can have a leftist and a gaming channel. Like, let me get some of that. I could even try playing games with patrons, which sounds really fun to me. But I think I would only do that after the release of a major video. But it is something I've thought about. So basically, the streams are going to be a way to breathe life and variety into Patreon on a weekly basis, and the YouTube channel on a monthly basis, with all kinds of different topics and activities. So I was kind of thinking of going with Sunday as my stream day, which is like kind of the pattern that I wanted to start with this stream. So I think a week from today, you could expect a stream just like this one, except it would be exclusively for patrons. It wouldn't appear on YouTube like this one is. It's going to be for the people who actually are, a patron of mine, and they're going to receive access to the unlisted stream that's going to be linked through Patreon. But it will probably be like this time next week, 7 days from now, will be my first ever Patreon stream. Current stuff is good, but I think it's essential that history is covered in order to understand the present, where we are, how we got here, and where to go. I completely agree with you. However, the downside of my normal political content is that it takes fucking forever. And there has to be something to talk about in the meantime. If you could shoot for a Patreon growth goal within the next 2 months, what would that growth figure be? So in the Going Pro video, I highlighted the figure of $1,250 per month. That's the number that would essentially allow me to walk away from the need to search for conventional employment. So like I also said in the Going Pro video, I'm offering a lot of behind the scenes content for those who contribute on Patreon at the higher levels. So let's go into detail about that now. So for example, if you contribute at the $3 level, by the way, the streams are for all patrons. So if you even contribute $1 to me on Patreon, you're granted access to the stream. Um, but let's talk about the higher levels now. So if you're a $3 patron, you get access to this Dropbox archive that I made. So this is actually a brand new reward that I'm offering. The previous $3 reward was something really lame about Patreon Lens content, so I scrapped that one and I came up with this instead. So this idea was actually based on a YouTube comment that I read asking if it was possible to create a zipped archive of the visual content of the videos. But I decided to go this route instead, so people could actually peruse the library of different still images that I use and also see folders of new videos as they're getting filled up with visuals. So if you go into this folder called visuals, you can see there's a folder for each one of my videos that I've uploaded to the channel. And, you can just look at these still images that, appeared in the video at one point or another. And some of them actually never even appeared in the video. Some of them are just like in this folder because I thought I was going to use them, but I never actually did end up using them. So you'll see things in this folder that probably never even appeared in my videos just because it was just left on the cutting room floor or something. So these are all like still images from my third episode, I think it was, or my fourth one. Yeah, I think this is my third episode. So you can just go through these still images that I use for the videos and just like, enjoy them or like use them for your own videos, use them for your own purposes. The one thing I haven't uploaded to these folders is the actual like video content, the moving pictures and the actual like snippets of different documentaries that I've clipped, because those files are just so massive. It would literally take me days to upload them to Dropbox. I kind of overestimated how good Dropbox is at uploading files. So if I upload these massive video files that I ended up using for the videos, it might actually take days to successfully upload, but who knows, I might still do it. But in addition to the visual content, you have here my scripts. So if you want to actually see the script of the video, you can open this document and here you will find the entire script of the video. There have been a lot of people in my comments in the past few years who have offered to help translate my videos into different languages. And accessing the scripts through Dropbox is the way that I'm offering y'all access to my scripts from this point on. So yeah, anyone who needs access to the scripts, they exist here. It's behind the $3 tier on Patreon. The last thing that you'll notice in this Dropbox folder is this folder called Notes. And the thing about this folder is I'm actually planning to start taking reading notes on this thing called Rocketbook. And if you don't know what Rocketbook is, it's actually a notebook that you can upload directly to the cloud. So let me show y'all something real quick. I'm going to write in this notebook right now. All right, I just wrote in my notebook. All right. We got my note that I read, or my note that I wrote. Now I'm going to upload it. If I can remember how to do that. I practiced this last night. So basically, in a couple seconds, you're going to see this note appear in this folder. If I did this correctly. And this is something fun that I came up with to basically allow you guys to see how I take notes on my readings. And this will actually allow you to see the content of what I'm reading and studying, like before it even enters into a script. Ah, here we go. All right. Let's see how long it takes to. Yep, here we go. Can we zoom in on this? So you see that? I literally just wrote that in my notebook, and now it's here on Dropbox. So this is basically going to be a folder that you can look at where you will find my notes on what I'm reading, and I can upload the notes like instantaneously. So let's say I'm reading a particular book and I'm taking notes on it. You know, you will probably be able to see my handwritten notes on the same day that I take them uh, with this notebook. And this is the last thing that you can get as a result of that that Patreon tier. So that's like my behind the scenes content for this Dropbox account in general. You get access to these 3 folders, and you're allowed to view the contents of the folder. You're not allowed to edit what's inside them. So let's talk about the next tier. So for the $5 patrons, there's also more behind the scenes content, except for my patrons, what you get is the work in progress scripts of my upcoming videos. So up on the screen here, you can see my script for Neoliberalism Part 5. And this was the last iteration of my script that I finished on like September 19th of last year. And you can see that it's shared with my patrons here. These are all the patrons who have access. But this isn't actually a new reward like the Dropbox is. This is an old reward, although there is something that I changed about this, which was in the past, I previously only allowed $10 patrons to comment on these scripts, and $5 patrons could only view them. But now I've given everyone who supports at $5 the ability to view and comment on the unreleased scripts. So, I mean, you can see on this script, no one really took advantage of that privilege. But like, say, you know, I wanted to comment something, like add a comment. I could be like, you know, hurry the fuck up, and you know, you could just leave me a comment like that on my script. If you wanted to, you know, you can write whatever you want. That's like your privilege as a patron. And I think that would actually be kind of funny and kind of fun to see my patrons commenting on my works in progress. Maybe even like contributing something to them. Like, I don't know, if they did their own independent research or something. I always thought that would be cool. So the last reward tier that I want to talk about is the $10 tier. So I'm going to go back to Patreon, and I'm going to go to my homepage, and we're going to look at this tier down here. So this is my highest tier. This is $10 per month. And this is one that I would really like to see grow and thrive this year. So this reward states, revolutionaries are invited to talk with me in one-on-one calls and video conferences on a per-month basis. We can talk politics or collaborate on any project of your choice, all previous rewards. So this reward has always been kind of a weird one for me because I've had many people sign up at this tier over the years, but not a single person has ever taken me up on the offer to actually have a one-on-one video conference. I've put it out there on private messages on Patreon, and still no one has ever come back and said, yeah, let's do a call on Saturday or something. I don't know if this is because I don't ask aggressively enough or people are just shy, but like, I'm down. If you're giving me $10 every month to do this work, and one day I can actually sustain myself off of this Patreon account alone, that means I work for you. You're my shareholder. I make myself available to you. And just to drive this point home, I added the phrase, we can talk politics or collaborate on any project of your choice. You know, as long as you aren't writing like a conspiracy theory video or some other completely indefensible position, I can help you write. or just like be a consultant on whatever it is you're working on. I'm mainly talking to other leftist creators at this point. That would be my target demographic for this particular reward, but it's not exclusive to them by any means. So seriously, consider my offer here. Um, so that does it for the Patreon rewards, which I hope are really going to spice up the downtime between videos. But now we need to actually talk about the meat and potatoes of my channel, which is the videos themselves. And I'm sure you've all been patiently waiting for this discussion, so I'm just going to get right into it. Um, so I'm just going to be as honest as I can be about my videos, and I'm just going to open one of my projects in Adobe Premiere Pro for dramatic effect. So I think the quality of my content is something that kind of speaks for itself. Um, I think it's the main reason why many of you are here in this stream, and that is totally fair. Many of you are not going to be swayed to contribute real money by a bunch of neat little Patreon rewards. You want to see more actual content, and you want to see it faster, and I understand that. Um, but what I need you all to understand is that it is very hard for me to speed up the publication of these videos without the monetary support that I'm asking for at the moment. Um, so until the day that Patreon actually allows me to focus on researching, writing, and editing 365 days a year, I'm going to be dealing with this pandemic and this political bullshit like the rest of you. I'm going to be trying to pay my bills with no unemployment benefits and no stimulus. To make things even better, I just got a letter from the Texas Workforce Commission saying that they want me to actually pay back all the unemployment benefits I received in the last 10 months because I was allegedly overpaid. And now I'm looking for legal representation to make sure they don't literally take all my money. Um, I got that letter after the Going Pro video came out, by the way, so literally 3 days ago. So without throwing a pity party for myself, I just need you all to be aware that the reason why I'm doubling and tripling down on my YouTube channel is because it's literally the best route away from the situation that I'm in. Um, I'm not interested in exposing myself to the virus by going out and trying to get hired at some normal business. I'm not interested in trying to work remotely from home because that's time that I could otherwise spend creating value for the people who are supporting me on Patreon. Um, and those are just external reasons why I need support to keep making the videos quickly. But again, by itself, this is not a good enough reason to support me. So let's shift to the actual creation process behind my videos and behind my neoliberalism series and why it requires so much time. So my approach to each individual episode of the neoliberalism series and all my videos really is to push my researching, writing, and editing skills to their absolute limit every time. I'm kind of an extreme perfectionist, and I think that comes across in the videos. Um, in fact, the only way I could actually build up the courage to post my first political content piece all the way back in 2017 was by trying to write a case that was literally airtight and impossible to refute. And of course, in reality, there's no such thing as impossible to refute, but on YouTube, you can get pretty close. But anyway, I couldn't even build up the courage to post it unless I felt like I literally exhausted my abilities as a writer. So that's where my insane standard of quality comes from. I literally can't tolerate low effort bullshit from myself, which is why I've been so hesitant to make videos that are not like a comprehensive take on a subject. People on YouTube and in real life, they always suggest to me to write smaller videos that are less detailed. And I'm just like, how? I don't know how to do that. I only know how to turn over every stone until I get to the bottom of an issue. That's all I'm good at. I have not discovered how to make an easy video, is basically what I'm saying. The other part of my standard of quality is my intended outcome of each video. So some of you might be surprised to hear this, but I've always tried to style my videos less as political documentaries and more as how-to guides. For example, You want to write a comprehensive case against the economic and political status quo of the world? Here you go. This is how it's done. Now, the next time you get into a conversation or a political debate, you're going to be strapped with 10 different machine guns like you're fucking Neo in the Matrix. You're just going to blast whoever you're talking to with facts. Uh, so I'm literally trying to do all this work on your behalf so that you can just watch the video like once, twice, or maybe 3 times, and now you're just as knowledgeable on this subject as I am with no effort on your part, and you can start taking major action in the world. Um, Believe it or not, my aim with this channel is not to gather some huge following for being some economic or political genius. Okay. I would actually rather prefer to live in obscurity. It's really just the support that matters to me. The number of followers I have is really quite arbitrary, in my opinion. Um, the level of support is really what I'm after. If I could get the support I needed with the help of like 10 people, that would be perfect. I don't need 100,000 followers. The number of supporters has never mattered to me. It's just the support that matters. Um, but yeah, the point of this is not to accumulate some huge following for being an individual genius. It's to like download this comprehensive case against the status quo into the mind of the average person so that we have like 7 billion Noam Chomskys walking around this planet who all know how to kick the system in the nuts, rhetorically speaking. Um, it's also just about the proliferation of well-constructed cases on YouTube and making it a much more academic platform in general. So what about my decision to start the neoliberalism series? Let's talk about that for a second. This will be a quick detour. So when I started the neoliberalism series, it was March 2018, which is basically a lifetime ago in 21st century standards. The reason why I decided to start a series was because I believe that neoliberalism is one of the most poorly understood concepts in the world today. Excuse me, and a comprehensive series would be the best way to illuminate it for a popular audience. My idea back in 2018 was a 12-part series advancing from the late 19th century to the present day. And currently, I've managed to complete 5 entries. So basically, I'm almost halfway done. Without the coronavirus and all the other insane shit that happened in the last year, I might have hit episode 6. And it doesn't really bother me that completing this series will take years of effort because I believe this problem is not going away. And I also believe that the series is only going to grow in prominence the longer that it goes on. And also in my mind, it was a pretty good way of avoiding indecision about what to cover early in my channel's lifespan, because you literally can't run out of things to talk about with neoliberalism. So I didn't have to worry about what to cover next. It was always just already laid out for me. Now, in 2021, however, the decision to embark on a series this colossal in scale is really starting to bite me in the ass. Assuming my current level of support stays stuck, I'll be making neoliberalism videos for another 3 or 4 years at least, assuming I can actually do 2 episodes per year. I only managed to do 1 in 2020, so my rate did slow down quite a bit. But of course, I attribute that to the coronavirus and everything else that happened last year. So here's the obvious dilemma that I'm facing, okay? I can't leave the neoliberalism series incomplete, but my channel is also suffering from a lack of diversity in topics. Diversifying the topics I speak about is probably the key to increasing my audience, but it means leaving the neoliberalism series on hiatus. And the only way that I can possibly sidestep this entire dilemma is if I get the support I need to literally do the neoliberalism series and branch out to other topics simultaneously, which I believe I am capable of if I could devote my undivided attention to this channel. I just can't handle that type of grind in my current financial situation. All I can really afford to do at the moment is start the research and writing process on Neoliberalism Part 6, and that's it. And that's my current plan. My current plan is just to start on the next episode of Neoliberalism, assuming things stay how they are. So the ability for me to expand to different topics is really on my following at this point. And I just want to make it as explicit as possible what I can actually accomplish depending on what happens. So here is what I'm proposing. So if I can get $1,250 on Patreon per month, like I said in my Going Pro video, you get 2 episodes of This is Neoliberalism and then 2 extra long form videos in 2021 on completely different topics. And if I don't get that, you still get at least 1 episode of This is Neoliberalism in 2021, maybe 2. Maybe I'll get to episode 7 by the end of this year. But that's assuming that I don't actually reach my goal. So if I actually get to my goal, which is $1,250 per month on Patreon, I think you can expect 4 videos this year, basically 1 per quarter, and 2 of them are going to be neoliberalism, and 2 of them are going to be something completely different. But no matter what happens, I'm still going to be handling my new Patreon rewards that I already covered, including my weekly streams, the monthly stream compilations for YouTube, uploads to my Dropbox archive, my new scripts of unreleased videos, and my one-on-one conversations with my high-level patrons. So before we get to the Q&A section, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and this is a very far-flung future goal that I have in mind that I would be interested in pursuing if I actually did reach full-time support on Patreon. This is not something that will probably happen in 2021 or 22, but you never know. It's just an idea that I've had for a while that I would really like to try one day if I was actually successful at this. So basically, going back to what I said earlier about my intention to write arguments that actually demonstrate how to make good arguments, I had this idea to one day like write and film a course or a series of courses that would be aimed at people who want to produce videos like mine. It would basically be an information product that viewers could purchase, and they would be granted access to an entire curriculum of lessons that I would film and edit myself about how to write a persuasive case, how to research primary sources, how to hedge an argument, how to anticipate common rebuttals, how to integrate evidence, and then even more courses about the recording process, how to enhance your vocals in post-production, how to edit video, how to find visual content that artistically complements the arguments that you're making in the moment, and so on and so forth. It would basically be like my own little university for people who are seeking the skills and also the confidence to write and publish persuasive cases online that are more or less like my own. Like I said, this is a very far out future goal that I have, but if you're still on the fence about supporting me, consider that this is a project that you could help realize by choosing to support me. So here it is. Here is my final pitch to you all before we start the Q&A section. It's only been 38 minutes, so 40 minutes basically, just like I said I would take. So this is my final pitch to you all before we start the Q&A section and I start answering questions from the chat. I personally believe that the future of this channel and this community could be very bright. I believe that with your support, I could keep producing extremely detailed arguments that many have said have fundamentally changed their political orientation, or maybe even their entire understanding of the world. I believe that the entire body of work that I've produced since October of 2017 is a very good indication of the quality of the work to come, and possibly does not even represent what I'm truly capable of with real independence. I believe the new Patreon reward tiers I've created are going to foster the growth of a really curious, committed, and compassionate group of people who are ready to take the fight to the various crises that are occurring in society today. I believe that if I'm granted the freedom to focus on new topics concurrently with the neoliberalism series, the following of this channel is going to snowball, and soon there will be no need for me to ever make a pitch like this again. The only thing that makes this pitch slightly awkward is that I need the support somewhat quickly. You know, I'm like Bernie Sanders. I am once again asking that you consider joining me and the rest of this wonderful group of people on Patreon, so that maybe you can be part of a community that will share in the success of this channel and the widespread impact on people all across the world that I believe will happen if you do that. So that's it for my pitch. If you're done with the stream and you don't have any more questions to ask, that's perfectly fine. I'm extremely grateful that you are here and that you listened to this entire case that I made. It means a lot. But with all of that out of the way, let me turn my attention to the chat. And I'm also going to close this Premiere Pro. We're going to go back to here. And now I'm going to listen to what you all want to talk about. Hold on, let me resize this. Okay. Don't worry about that right now. Spooky Scary Socialist takes forever to make content, and it's 5-star. Check him out and reach out to him also. He has an active Reddit and Twitter presence too. Your quality is greater than quantity is what makes your channel so special. Of course, the roadblock you run into is commercial viability, but I hope we can make it possible. That remains your focus. Yeah, so the quality is something I'm predominantly concerned with. I don't want to, I don't want to release a video that is, you know, below the quality of what I've already created. You know, I'm never planning for the quality of my videos to dip below what has already been achieved, right? It's only going to be just as good or better. And if it's not just as good or better, it's just not going to get published. Do you prefer your long form historical stuff, or would you prefer quicker current affairs content, given if your independence were taken care of? I mean, I think the part of the reason why my videos are just so detailed to begin with is it kind of goes back to what I said just a couple minutes ago. You know, the only way I could even build up the courage to post a political video was if I just made the case completely airtight and like very difficult to refute. So the amount of details really stems from insecurity more than anything. But I mean, I think that's not really a problem for me anymore. It's just like I'm trying to maintain the standard that I've already established. And it would be kind of a shame if I went to like really simple, undetailed videos after what I've already accomplished. Hi, I want to sponsor you financially, but I do not have a credit card. I just have a normal bank account. Any ideas? Well, I think that if you create a PayPal account, all that really requires is a browser. And you don't need a credit card. So if you go to paypal.com, I have a PayPal account too. So if you make an account on PayPal, you know, you can interact with all kinds of different websites and pay that way and just connect it to your bank account. You don't need a credit card necessarily. Why don't we look at some of the people you all have been recommending? So Gus, you said Spooky Scary Socialist. Why don't we look at this channel? I've never heard of this before. Wow, you weren't kidding. So 4 videos, 32,000 subscribers. This is quite a case study, I think. This is not so different from my channel, it seems. Except he's actually exceeding my number of subscribers with less videos, which I find really impressive. And this is a great number, like 481,000 views. I think he's probably a way better editor than I am, just looking at these visuals. These are all handcrafted, which is really not that easy to do. And that probably accounts for why there's such a gap between his videos. But I mean, I can already see the effort put into this. Although one thing about this channel that I'm noticing is like, I don't know, the aesthetic is kind of like trafficking in memes, which I think is a quality that a lot of leftist channels have. And I'm not really all that into that myself. Like, I try not to traffic in memes with my content most of the time. You could view me as being like rather humorless compared to a lot of leftist channels on YouTube, but I try not to traffic in memes. That's just my personal preference. I don't have anything against memes or like laughing or like having fun, but I try not to include it in my content. I am very interested in left and green politics, social democratic policies, and democratic socialist ideas. Will you do research on these topics? So I think, I mean, I've never considered making videos specifically like explaining like social democratic policies and green politics and democratic socialist ideas, just because so many people have done that very eloquently already, and it would be like entering into a very crowded space. Like, if you want to learn more about those ideas, I'm sure that there are other channels who have already covered that like extensively. Like, I don't know, this is probably the biggest leftist channel you can think of, and they do incredible videos. And I think at some point they have covered videos on social democratic policies. Um, So yeah, I'm not sure if it's because you want to hear about it specifically from me, but that seems like something that tons of content creators have already tackled in the past, and I'm kind of worried about entering into a very crowded space. I tackled neoliberalism because I thought that very few channels had actually done a good job of explaining this concept, and that's the niche that I was able to capitalize on. No meme. Maybe you should reach out to George Soros. He's funding stuff like INET, which I watch and love. Have you tried reaching out to any professors slash researchers in your own research? Um, no, honestly, I haven't. I mean, I know that there are, academics and professors out there that I would love to meet and speak to, like, I don't know, Mark Blythe or like Philip Morowski or people like that. But I've never actually considered, reaching out to them. I don't know, because I don't know what I could possibly offer them. Like, watch my YouTube videos. Like, I'm sure that that's going to be a hard sell to an academic with a busy schedule. Um, as for George Soros, that's kind of funny considering he's like the meme of like the leftist. I don't know, dark money man reaching out to Daddy Soros. Memes distract, thus content is dense enough without having to sift. Yeah, I mean, like, I have nothing against people who traffic in memes. Like, memes are great and all, but it's like if you're actually trying to get the attention of someone who actually has the power to enact real policy in the world, they're probably not gonna, their eyes are visually not going to get glued to something with a bunch of Pepe faces or whatever. Like, they're gonna get attracted to raw data and information that might actually influence their decision making. So if you're trafficking in memes, I feel like you're really only attracting an audience that is already like 100% on board with what you're saying. You're kind of selecting your audience before they've even clicked on your content because you're targeting a meme audience. INET is Institute for New Economic Thinking. Yeah, INET is great. I mean, I think Philip Morowski put essays on INET that have been super helpful for my own thinking about neoliberalism. So yeah, INET is really great. I mean, maybe this is a platform that I could do something with. I've never considered it though. Democratic Socialist 01 is quite serious and meme free and has no sense of humor and is quite successful at it. Well, why don't we take a look? $16.3K. And it looks like one upload every couple of months. Some of them are quite long and some of them are a bit shorter. So yeah, that's cool. And yeah, this is not nearly as meme heavy, it seems. Someone else said something before you. Vouch is another one too, and Philosophy Tube. Yeah, those are two of the bigger ones, I believe. I actually watched one of this guy's streams for the first time like last week. I had never really seen what he looks like or how he sounds before like a week ago, and he had a YouTube stream with 14,000 viewers. That's like insane. That's like literally as massive as you could possibly hope to get. Um, Although on YouTube maybe that's just hyperbole. There's no ceiling for YouTube. And PhilosophyTube. So yeah, PhilosophyTube is obviously the other major channel. I think PhilosophyTube must be like in second place behind ContraPoints. Is that generally the consensus? I mean, the production value of like PhilosophyTube and ContraPoints, I think, is outside anything I will ever accomplish. Because like they put themselves on camera, they have costumes, they have like sets and skits. That's like a level of detail that I will probably never aspire to personally. So the success that they get is totally deserved. I think that I will probably just stick with like recording my voice and trying to find some footage that matches, but who knows? Reach out to Left Reckoning. Their co-host Dave Griscom lives in Texas and is big on finance and trade issues. Why don't we look at that? So this is a smaller channel, 6.k subscribers, and looks like pretty much daily uploads with some interview content. So yeah, this is the type of channel that maybe I could see myself collaborating with. Seems like they do a lot of interviews and stuff like that. And they're from Texas. That's cool. Second Thought is my most preferred YouTuber after you. Wow, that's a great compliment. Thank you for that. Let's look at this. Second Thought, 1.2 million? That's even more than PhilosophyTube. Yeah, these are some high quality videos. I can already tell. The thumbnail game is pretty good. The visuals look very good. And it's like weekly uploads. That's like a crazy output right there. There is Second Thought who has 1 million. Yeah. It's probably about time that I start subscribing to all these channels and doing my part to actually grow this community. I've been kind of isolated from the entire leftist, YouTube, BreadTube community just because my own attitude towards my own content is like I'm really trying not to consume a bunch of other people's content for fear that it will influence my own arguments and it will influence my own content. And the way that I kind of protect the uniqueness of my own content is not to go around watching what everyone else is putting out. So this is kind of something that I've been like trying to hold up at arm's length. Like I'm trying to stop myself from just consuming all this content and learning all of this stuff because I fear that it's going to just influence my own perceptions of the issues and it's going to detract from the uniqueness of my own content. So I think that maybe I should just subscribe to all of them. So like, which one did we start with? We started with Spooky Scary Socialist. And then we went to, which one was it? Oh yeah, well then we did ContraPoints. And then we did PhilosophyTube. And then we did Vouch. And then we did Left Reckoning. We did Democratic Socialist 01. And then we did Second Thought. And then Sean is also a very good detailed YouTuber. Sean. That's this guy, right? I've seen this this skull avatar before. To be honest, I really like the info density of the neoliberalism series. The documentary style adds a ton of production value by itself. Hey, thanks for that compliment. Yeah, my own personal attitude towards content is like it has to be information dense to the point that the viewer might have to view the video multiple times just to be able to absorb it all. And that's how I try to deliver value that actually justifies the massive time that elapses between the videos, right? So if the information is so dense that it requires you to view it multiple times just to comprehend it, then that's kind of what justifies there being a 6 month or a 10-month wait between the videos. And that's exactly why I do that, because this better be fucking life changing if you're going to make someone wait 6 or 10 months for a video. Each one of them has their strengths and talents. I think having a more scholarly analysis on issues like neoliberalism is a great idea, like you're doing. Thank you for that compliment, Andy. Yeah, so like I said, my angle on YouTube is like I think that this platform could be a lot more academic if more creators just treated it like that. And that's part of the reason why I choose not to traffic in memes, because you're never really going to get an academic's attention, or maybe like a policymaker's attention, if you traffic in memes, right? If you're putting out nothing but like great useful information that's transparent and not like, burdened by a bunch of like esoteric inside jokes, it's going to reach an audience that might actually be persuaded by what you're saying instead of an audience that's already thinking what you're saying. And that's just my opinion. That's not to detract from the work of any creator who chooses to traffic in memes because that's what they love to do, and that's fun, and that's how they like to spend their time, because the way that we spend our time is like the entire crux of the conflict of capitalism. We're not allowed to spend our time how we wish, and so the people who spend their time doing exactly what they want to do is very revolutionary, in my opinion. Have you watched Bad Empanada? Or wait, Empanada. Yeah, he started super modest in terms of production, but covering interesting subjects. Let's look at that. World history, politics, society, and culture. I like it already. Also, I don't know how you get this join button here. How does that work? I've never understood how that you get this button to actually appear. Some channels have it and some don't. Oh shit. Someone contributed $10. Mateo says the gods are watching. Mateo, you're my first ever super chat user. I just enabled this like last month. No one's ever given me money on a stream before. You're the very first one. Congratulations. That's super cool. Thank you, Mateo. Thersites the historian would be able to hold a conversation streaming with you about neoliberalism on the fly and be super well supported. You know what's crazy about that name? I swear to God, that dude is a sub of me. Hold on. I swear he was a sub of me. I just saw it the other day. Thersites the historian. He was right up here. Or maybe Lifetime? Yeah, there he is. Thersites the historian. Isn't that cool? I actually looked at his channel and I was like, wow, that looks super fascinating. He does a lot of like, what does he do? It's all like a very ancient history, it seems. But yeah, I was just looking through my subscribers and I was like, wait, I've seen that name before. I prefer your isolation, bringing in the outside world. Yeah, that's my attitude as well. Although I feel like my own positions on things could probably be strengthened if I actually bothered to watch the content of some of these other creators. The problem just comes in like if they're speaking about something that I would also like to speak about, I don't want to watch their content first and then just be persuaded to their point of view and then make a video that basically enters into a crowded space where the correct position has already kind of been arrived at by somebody. I would kind of like to shoot at topics where no one has really arrived at a convincing take before. And with neoliberalism, I definitely felt that that was the case. And I'm not saying that no one else has videos about neoliberalism that are good, but like, you know, I think that this idea is so deep that no one has really ever given it the attention that it deserves besides the academic world. Like no one on YouTube has actually gone to the bottom of this concept, in my opinion. David Griscom was the economist part of what used to be the Michael Brooks show. After Michael died, David and Matt started Left Reckoning to continue their ideas. Man, that's sad. Yeah, Michael Brooks, you know, he's someone that I knew of, but I never really was a consumer of his work. But the way that he died just was so sudden and tragic. Look up CCK philosophy as well. Is that this? Is it this channel? Did this used to be cuck philosophy? Did the U of this guy's name just disappear? Because I'm pretty sure I knew of cuck philosophy, but I'm guessing this guy just had to change the name of his channel or something. Just take your time and do your best. You'll be fine. Make sure you stick with the grind. Hey, thanks, Andy. Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. I do need to stick with the grind. Wow, 2 other people contributed. Thank you, Stefan Ramirez, and thank you, Mohanjan. Nice vids. I like deep dives into history. Hey, thank you so much. Man, you guys are so nice. I'm kind of behind on the comments, so I'm just trying to catch up. But I like memes. They're so dank and funny. Yeah, like I said, there's nothing wrong with memes. Like I enjoy memes quite a bit, but when it comes to making content that you hope might actually have ripple effects in the world, like trafficking in memes, I think is just it's going to silo your audience to people who are already into that type of stuff. Like if you want the chance of persuading someone who like possibly never ever gets on the internet and never watches YouTube, like trafficking in memes is not going to help persuade that person. They're not exposed to internet culture. It's just going to be a bunch of esoteric nonsense to them. 3 Arrows does something like that. Good research. Last vid 5 months ago. Hey, thanks, Fede. Is that how you pronounce your name? 3 Arrows. $253 subscribers. Nice. Cool. You inspired me to create and submit an alternative UBI. I submitted the proposal to the Director of Economics Friday. They liked it. I'd call that life-changing. Wow, congratulations, Michael. I remember our conversation on Patreon, but that sounds like a huge development. Congratulations. Socialist Swan is good at serious material from a historical position as well. Well, let's look at that. Smaller channel, 4.37K subscribers. Cool. You probably need a certain number of subs. You mean for that join button? I assume that that's the case, but I don't even know like what that button does. Maybe I should try to go back and see what happens when I click on it. I think it was on this guy's channel. What happens when you click this join button? Join this channel. $4.99 a month. Wow, is this like Patreon on YouTube? I've never seen this before. Get access to membership perks. So this is basically like Patreon on YouTube. I've never seen this before. Are you familiar with Scandinavian politics? Is that a channel, or are you referring to like the politics of Scandinavia? I'm just going to type it in just to see if anything comes up. Yeah, okay. So that doesn't seem like a channel. I'm not familiar with Scandinavian politics at all, other than they seem like countries that I would prefer to live in than fucking America on most days. If you are interested in geopolitical reports and analysis, I'd like to recommend Caspian Report. All right, let's look at that. Wow, this is a fairly big channel, 725K. Wow, this does seem pretty intense. Look at these thumbnails. And these video lengths are like the perfect length, I think, to capture the attention span of the average YouTuber. You know, just over 10 minutes, like just below 15 minutes, like that's like the ideal length of a YouTube channel. And even I understand that, you know, that's the ideal length of a YouTube channel. Like the reason why my videos are so long is because I just feel the need to, you know, get as detailed as possible. And also the story of neoliberalism is so insanely complex that I feel like without cramming the videos full of detail, it would just be incomprehensible how complex it is. So let's subscribe to that. He has a second channel called Spirit of Thersites where he does his neoliberalism stuff. Wow, let's look at that. Yeah, this seems way more current than his ancient history channel. I'm like blown away by the people who have the balls to start 2 YouTube channels. Like one is hard enough. Running 2 YouTube channels just seems like out of the question to me, unless you're like not working alone and you actually have like a team of people helping you. That's just like a lot of work, man. Even one channel is hard for me. Infinite is my sub for Noam Chomsky videos as well. Wait, was that you who is this you right here? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, you have Chomsky videos. I see this now. Hey, nice channel you've got. Thanks for the sub. What do you think about the Movement for the People's Party, Barack? I'm not exactly sure what that is. Is that something that I could find on YouTube? Do Not Eat 01 has a great series in City Skylines on how American cities were built over time. Lots of stuff in there, big focus on how class divides are built. All right, let's look at that. This looks fun. Wow, that's insane. This is like a combination of gaming and politics. Like I mentioned briefly in the chat that I was kind of interested in somehow integrating gaming content as long as it wasn't like blatantly drowning out the quality of the political videos. But this is like literally a hybrid. It's like using city skylines to actually make a political case. That's insane. I love that. I think YouTube keeps a bigger cut than Patreon, though. I wouldn't be fucking surprised if that were true. Patreon's cut has probably grown over time. Like, I think in the beginning, Patreon probably didn't take much of a cut at all, but I think over time they've, you know, taken a bigger and bigger slice out. I don't know what YouTube does because I literally just learned that that was a thing. Like I had seen that join button on some channels and I'd never clicked on it before. And then it was like $4.99 a month. Like that could be a potentially huge improvement for me. Democracy will eat capitalism. People's instinct to survive will kick in sooner than later. Yeah, that's what everyone keeps saying. I mean, I think the case against capitalism was overwhelming a long time ago, and we still haven't seen the revolution happen. But I don't think that's because people are just like lazy or something. It's like there's a lot of barriers in the way to taking that corrective action. Uh, I think you might want to revise your Bernie analogy you used at the end of your pitch. It kind of sounds like you'll accept our Patreon donations for about a year, then abruptly stop making videos and tell us to start watching Dave Rubin. Well, I hope that's not the impression I was trying to give off. I was basically just trying to memify the very end of my pitch, you could say. I have asked for support quite a few times over the years, and I'm kind of hoping that this is the last time I ever have to do it. Although I'm very like confident that that's not going to be the case. Um, it's not my natural inclination to ask for support and ask for money, but like I said, COVID has kind of forced my hand, and this channel kind of represents my way out of the situation right now. Oh, that's not you? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It kind of sounded like that was the. It kind of sounded like that was the name of your account, Infinity Infinity. What did you say earlier? Do not eat is great. They're engineers. Is it more than one person, or is that just their pronoun? Movement for a People's Party is a political party formed in 2016. Social Democrats. Okay, I've never heard of them before. Have they got on the ballot of any like state or federal race before? A new third party that wants to primary the squad, the Bread and Roses Party, a more serious third party with a long-term plan. Why would you want to primary the squad? I thought the squad was good. Is the squad not good anymore? What do you think of this recent demonetizing of progressive channels? Honestly, I've not heard about this. Is this a trend that's going on? I've historically really not wanted to rely on YouTube as a platform because I view YouTube as inherently untrustworthy, right? I'm only doing this on YouTube because that's where the largest audience is, obviously. But I mean, there are lots of things about YouTube that I really dislike. Um, from their UI to the way that they handle viral content to the algorithms that they use to like push content to people who search for certain search terms. I mean, there's like no end to the amount of shit you could talk about YouTube, but it's clearly the ground zero for a lot of cultural discussion nowadays on the internet. So it's kind of like necessary that I'm on it. Other people have suggested other platforms for me though. Like someone suggested that I start uploading to like this platform called Watch Nebula, and I had another person who made an offer to start hosting my videos on this like very decentralized platform whose name that I forget, but I actually went ahead and did it. So like in the event that my YouTube channel ever goes down, I think my videos will still be like floating out there in the ether and they'll be viewable. At BarakalypseNow, have you considered going to Twitch? I actually have a Twitch account, but I've never used it for anything other than just watching different Twitch channels. I've never considered streaming on Twitch just because, it's more gaming centric. And, unless I was gaming, I didn't really see the point of using that website over YouTube because YouTube is where my political content is located. So I feel like keeping my audience where my videos are located makes sense. If for some reason I thought that streaming on Twitch would be superior than YouTube, I would go over there, but I'm not sure that that's the case yet. I really love your analysis, and you might be able to do a slightly more casual approach when you want. Hey, thanks, Radama. So here's my attitude towards my videos now. The neoliberalism series uh, is just, it was a ridiculous decision and a ridiculous undertaking. and I will probably never do something like that ever again. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't regret the decision to do it, but like I will probably never attempt to write a series with actually a story arc ever again. Like the thing you have to understand about the neoliberalism series is it has a beginning, middle, and an end. And it has arguments that I have to develop and sustain throughout each episode until its conclusion, right? And that is just such a difficult task. And it's not one that I ever want to do again in my life, unless I was just like, this was just my career or something and I could do it all the time. If I finished the neoliberalism series or I got to the level where I could just focus on making videos all the time, I would probably just choose to do one-off videos. Like whose channel did we look at? Like say this channel for instance. Like every time that they come out with a video, it's on like a different topic, right? And I think this is closer to what I would prefer doing in the long run. Like starting a series was kind of an answer to the question of like, what am I going to write about? You know, I didn't want to fall into the problem of like wondering what I was going to do a video about. So I was like, well, fuck it. If I do a series, I'm never going to run out of content. Like I'm never going to run out of things to talk about because neoliberalism is just such a massive topic. I'm never going to have to question like, what am I going to write about today? Like that, the answer will always be there, you know. But the downside is now I'm eyeballs deep in a series that I'm not even halfway done with, and it's already taken me 3 years. Uh, so yeah, if I could go back, maybe I would try to clamp down on my ambitions a little bit, but it's already in motion, so there's no point. A movement for a People's Party was started by former Bernie camp staff, the ones that wanted him to stay in the race. Oh, I see. The channel Not Just Bikes focus on social issues and economics from the perspective of city planning. The larger project of the founder is something called Strongtown's Strategic Interest for Me. Well, let's look at that. Why Canadians can't bike in the winter. How America bankrupted its cities. This is a cool looking channel. I always love it when you come across a channel with like a totally weird name, like Not Just Bikes, and you see they have like 100,000 subscribers. It's like it gives me hope that my channel is not too weird for a mass audience. Because some people come across my channel and they're like, "How do you even say the name of your channel?" And I'm just like, "Dude, I'm hopeless. I'm never gonna get there." But seeing a channel like this, it kind of brightens my spirits a little bit. I like the channel Ideologues. All right, let's look at that. Smaller channel, 3.79K. I like these thumbnails. They're very colorful. Interview with a social ecologist. Political D&D. Cool. The politics section of Twitch is getting pretty big. Really? Maybe that's something we should look at. Wait, that's not Twitch. Go away. Politics? Is this, am I looking at a channel or a category right now? 167 viewers, 60.5K followers? History of fascism. That's kind of interesting. I mean, the top channel in this section only has 47 viewers, but it's politics on Twitch. It has 60.5K followers, but the most that's going on right now is 47 viewers on this Russian stream. Recommended for me. Why don't we just see viewers hi to low? This is it for politics on Twitch? I'm surprised. This looks like barely anything. The squad have received a lot of flack after apparent inaction on the Force the Vote initiative. Huh, I'm not aware of that development. I mean, I still think they're some of the most reliable representatives of Congress, and also the ones who receive like the most like vicious attacks. I feel like they should not be primaried, but maybe I don't have the whole picture. I mean, you could even just stream your YouTube videos on your Twitch channel. How does that work? Stream your YouTube videos on your Twitch channel? Oh, you mean taking my videos from my my own channel and then just playing them on a stream on Twitch, like all in a row? Is that what you're saying? I never thought of doing that. That would be kind of interesting. It would be like a marathon session, though. I think how many minutes of footage have I got at this point on neoliberalism? Oh wait, hold on, don't do that. View full playlist. This is like 27, 36, 40, 44, 47. This has got to be like 3 hours of video by now. That would be like watching a whole Lord of the Rings just on neoliberalism. Karina McDaniel and Jim Parsons are good YouTube channels that are both video game based, as well as having good takes on current events and policy. Parsons did a terrific video on 1/6. Dude, 1/6 was the day before my birthday, and I was kind of fucked up on my birthday because I was like, man, that is the stupidest shit to ever happen, possibly in the history of this country. And it happened the day before my birthday, and it's just always going to be remembered as the Capitol riot on 1/6. It's like, fuck. All right, you said Karina McDaniel. Wow, this is a mega small channel, 420. Nice. Is this the right channel? I was looking for a video on the Capitol riots, but I don't see it here. You said Karina Daniels and Jim Parsons. Oh, you said Parsons did it. Okay, well, let me just go over to that then. Jim Parsons. You said Parsons did the video. Jim Parsons. Wow, this guy was on Jimmy Fallon? Am I looking at the right dude? Jim Parsons. So this guy has a channel? What is his channel called? He's on like all the biggest television shows ever. This is definitely not the guy you're talking about. It can't be. A lot of Jimmy Dore, Thought Slime, and Kyle Klinsky in here. You know, I've heard people have been getting pissed as fuck at Jimmy Dore recently. I'm not sure exactly why, because like I said, I'm completely in the dark about the developments on most leftist YouTube channels. I'm kind of like, if you ever seen like Planet Earth or some shit like that, you know how they always do an episode on like a organism that lives in a cave that's never been exposed to any other ecosystem, and it just has this totally weird DNA that, you know, is not replicated by any other like organism on the planet. It's kind of like what I feel like my channel is, or maybe I aspire to be. It's like I'm just not dealing with the outside world, and I'm gonna do my own shit. But today I'm kind of thinking like, you know, it's about time that I branch out and see what these other channels are about, because, you know, I have to learn from them somehow. Maybe I can learn some things from them and not, you know, change my entire style up. Thought Slime. I've heard of this one. I've actually looked at this guy's Patreon channel just for some some ideas. You said Thought Slime, Jimmy Dore. Yeah, I heard people were getting pissed as shit at Jimmy Dore recently. I think Jimmy Dore is the type of channel that I would probably never watch, but I'm just gonna subscribe to it anyway. I'm really not a fan of the type of channel that will like try to replicate the appearance of like cable news, or if it's just a dude like sitting at a desk with a microphone. Like that's my least favorite type of format for a channel. Audio video out of sync for everyone. Yeah, so before I started the stream, I had it on ultra low latency, but then I switched it to just low latency because ultra low doesn't allow you to do certain things, and I think that was a mistake. I think I'm going to switch it back to ultra low for the next stream. I'm sorry if there's a delay, but yeah, that was my bad. What up, Barack? I think taking 10-minute clips from longer streams where you react to a current event would be great. Look at Hassan Piker, and then that will allow time for longer form videos. Hey, thanks, Nicholas. I'm glad you could be here in the stream today. Yeah, so that kind of goes into one of the things I'm planning to do with the channel in the upcoming year. So, like I said, I'm planning on doing these streams exclusively for patrons, and then, after I do 4 streams in a month, I'm going to take clips from those 4 streams and compile them, and then put them on YouTube so that the YouTubers can actually see what we're doing in the Patreon streams, and maybe that will persuade them to join us. So yeah, I'll basically be making like a stream highlights vid every month with like different parts of the streams from that entire month. So like starting like 7 days from now, I'm gonna do a stream for my patrons where we're gonna figure out something to do together on stream. Maybe we're gonna do some research. Maybe we're gonna look at some news articles. Maybe we're just gonna like chill and talk about random bullshit. Who knows? But yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing. Hassan Piker, that's what you said. This guy was he was from Young Turks, right? Is that still a thing? He doesn't work for the Young Turks anymore, right? I love your ambition. Your completed videos are a testament to your decision and capacity. Keep on keeping on with the slight divergence to commercial stuff when needed. Hey, thanks, Stephen. Sorry, did I pronounce that correctly? I always get fucked up by PH in Steven. Is it Steven or Stefan? I don't want to mispronounce anyone's name in here. At BarakalypseNow, would you like to share your Twitch handle so we can follow you there just in case you happen to take up streaming on Twitch? You're welcome to follow me for no reason at all. Here we go. There you go. Hold on, what did you say? AV is a bit off for me too, still watchable. Yeah, so like I said, I should have had it on ultra low latency. So that's my bad. I kind of fucked up. I'm sorry if there's a delay. But as long as you guys can hear me all right, I hope that it's a serviceable stream. I mean, honestly, not a lot of people stream politics on Twitch on Sundays. Yeah, I imagine that that's true. Actually, the reason why I chose Sunday as my date was because if I look at my analytics page and I look at my audience, I noticed that there are quite a few people online on Sundays around noon. So I was kind of using my analytics page to inform when to host the stream. And I thought Sunday at noon seemed like a great time to catch a lot of people when they're online. So I don't know, maybe that just happens to be true for my audience, and maybe that's not true for most people. But that was kind of how I informed my decision to schedule today's stream. Step Back History does great thumbnails, good content too. Let's look at that. Step Back. What is it called? Step Back History. $85K subscribers. Cool. I dig it. Twitch is definitely smaller than YouTube, but it's growing. The Just Chatting or podcast is better representative. Yeah, I wonder if maybe there's something in there that I could tap into. Um, like part of the reason why I'm so reluctant to do these like streaming or just like chatting videos is because, like I said, I really don't want them to start outnumbering my video essays. But you know, if I was on a completely different platform, like Twitch, for example, maybe that just wouldn't be a problem. Like maybe I could just stream on Twitch all the time if all I'm doing is like trying to like talk to people. And YouTube could really be where like my serious essays reside. And you know, you could just see them all there and they wouldn't be like surrounded by these fucking live streams. You know, which is just my fear. My fear is that my content is just going to get outnumbered by the number of streams that I host. Which is part of the reason why I'm kind of reluctant to do them sometimes. But I think that they're totally fun. Like I have to resist the urge to do streams all the time because I really love it. Sorry, like I said, Sunday is kind of dead for politics on Twitch, but it's a lot more popular during the week. Yeah, I imagine that that's true. Um, Although who knows? Like maybe if you know, someone like myself decided to start talking about politics on Sundays, it would start being a thing. Excuse me. Yep, play them on stream and then talk to chat. Yeah, I mean maybe streaming on Twitch is an answer. Let me know if you guys are down with that sort of idea, because it would be really nice to be able to stream more often and just not have to worry about my YouTube videos getting like completely flooded, you know, out of my channel. I think Twitch has come up with some rule about VODs recently, but it should be doable, and then you can just rebroadcast the series forever. I think that's a really cool idea. I've never thought about that before. Um, Especially because like, you know, god, when the series is actually completed and you can watch 12 completed episodes back to back, it's just going to be a monument. It's going to be a complete monument. uh Also known as Jim Sterling, Jimquisition. Yeah, I watch Jimquisition. I really like Jimquisition. You don't have to stream all your videos as a marathon. You could just do one per day with intermittent breaks for analysis/chat. Yeah, that would probably be a more sensible way to do it. I just, for some reason, I imagine my head just playing them all back to back, just because it would be like such a monument, you know, like the longest case I've ever written in my life about anything. Stay in the dark, please. I think that you have nothing to worry about. Um, you know, for me to get, you know, new episodes of the neoliberalism series done, like I can't be spending my time watching any channels. You know, uh, I have to be like pretty absorbed to even get in the zone enough to make one of my own videos. So yeah, I'm subscribing to all these channels mostly because I want to boost their numbers and not because I actually plan on going and like viewing their entire catalog. I've been sharing your series on neoliberalism with people for a long time, and not enough people on Twitch have seen your neoliberalism series. Yeah, I feel like Twitch is. I've never considered Twitch to actually have an audience for politics, so today has kind of been like a revelation a little bit. Because if there actually is an audience for politics on Twitch, that's like a great opportunity. The outside is not worth it. Yeah, don't worry. I will need plenty of isolation just to finish my videos. Jim Sterling is the guy with 1/6/2021. Okay, I've probably seen that video already that you're talking about. Jimmy Dore is a grifter and a weirdo Tulsi stan. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to explain why people seem to really dislike him at this moment, and I just never gravitated to his style. Not because I disagreed with what he was saying, but because like I really just despise the format of like just a bunch of dudes talking around a table with a microphone between them. Like that just seems way too low effort to me. I would personally never make content like that, unless it was a live stream, right? The fact that this is a live stream is what makes it fair. If it was just a pre-recorded video of me speaking into a camera about politics, I would consider that low effort. Theory Plebe used to read books on Twitch. Honestly, I think that sounds fun as shit. Like just reading a document or like reading an excerpt from a book. Like I think that there's a lot of potential there. Dore promoted a Boogaloo boy and has gone off the deep end. Wow, that's pretty bad. Barack the INTP ventures out into the world to analyze it. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I intend to just be like isolated and antisocial. I just feel like that really heightens the potency of your argument if you're not really influenced by a lot of other people who are making arguments. Of course, you can't be completely without influences because you need to get your convictions from somewhere. But at some point, you got to like do that introspection that allows you to actually innovate and arrive at a solution that is not intuitive to other people, right? And you can't do that if you're constantly feeding yourself other people's opinions. Dory puts interviews and articles up on screen. Yeah, I'm assuming that he has a pretty good production value considering how big his channel is, but I don't know. I just never enjoyed watching it personally. Dory / Coffin are both grifting hard. Man, that's a bad look. He's dropped Tulsi, and an interview is hardly the same as an endorsement. Okay, so he's not a Tulsi stan? Is that what you're saying? I'm getting conflicting messaging. I still subscribe to him, but he isn't what he used to be. Okay. Excuse me. Hassan Piker is the biggest political leftist on the net, and he streams on Twitch. He's not very informative, though. Well, that's actually quite interesting because, like, you know, the knowledge that Twitch could potentially be a platform that I could use is fascinating. But I'm surprised that he's not very informative. Why is he one of the biggest political leftists if he's not informative? What does he do? Just like tweet at people all day or something? TYT sucks. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, but it seems like their quality is not nearly as good as it used to be. Maybe that's why all these people like Hassan don't work for them anymore. Yes, Young Turks is still a thing. They have a channel on Pluto TV. I've never even heard of Pluto TV. I guess that's a good indication of what state they're in. A channel called Kraut makes long, in-depth documentaries about geopolitics. Let's look at that. Wow, that's a lot of subscribers. 327K. That's really good numbers for your first ever video on your channel. I'm almost in the same boat as that. Like, my first video wasn't spectacular, right? It only had 18K, but my very next one, hold on. My very next one is the crown jewel of my channel, right? The first episode of the neoliberalism series. It's almost at 200K. That's more views than I ever thought I would ever get in my life on a video. Did I subscribe to that guy? I don't remember if I subscribed to him or not. Yeah, I subscribed. Okay. It's Steven. Don't really care about pronunciation. Hassan is Jank's nephew or something. I don't think he works at TYT anymore. Yeah, that makes sense. Jim Sterling is the name of the guy I was talking about. Yeah, I know of Jim Sterling. I know of the Jimquisition. I've watched that channel a lot. Hi, Trev. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you could make it here. I really think Twitch might be a good next step for you and will expand your knowledge and tools while expanding your community. I hope to see you there. Hey, thanks, Radama. Yeah, that's definitely going to be something I have to think about in the coming weeks and months, because it would be really cool, like to stream more often and really not have it appear on my YouTube channel, right? That's kind of a conundrum that I've been facing, is like, how do I stream without my political essays just being completely devoured by uploaded streams on YouTube? And, you know, if I could stream and actually make a little bit of money on Twitch by just, you know, either doing my research for the series or like maybe even playing some games with patrons, like I think that would be totally sweet. Kraut has had really bad takes and all that anti-SJW shtick. Is that something on here that we can find? This I thought was a anti-black meme. This right here. Maybe this thumbnail is not representative of the argument he's making, but this title here seems like a anti-black meme. Maybe you can point to the specific video that is not his good take. I like non-compete a lot. He and his partner make a great case for anarchist communist unity. Let's look at that. $94.5K. Someone else once messaged this channel to me in a different stream, and I forgot what they said, but it kind of stuck in my mind. Excuse me. I don't understand Twitch. Yeah, I never really believed that Twitch had an audience for politics. I just thought it was like for gaming exclusively. So, yeah, I guess I don't really understand it either. I don't care for the Jimmy Dore hate or Jimmy Dore style, which appeals to the MAGA crowd. That doesn't mean that his views are invalid or he doesn't have a place on the left. I mean, I always respected him just because it seems like he like gathered a huge audience for leftist ideas in general. Like one of the only videos I've ever seen from Jimmy Dore's channel was his interview with Mark Blythe, which was a fantastic interview, right? So I thought to myself that, you know, this guy is big enough to have insanely good interview guests, which is good enough. You know, maybe his own analysis is weak, but the fact that he can get a guest like Mark Blythe is really great. By the way, Tristan, the guy who does Step Back History, also has another channel, Tristan Won't Shut Up, where he does leftist economic analysis. Don't know why he has two separate channels like that, though. Well, let's look. This looks cool. These views on his videos are actually very consistent, considering he only has he almost has exactly the same subscribers as me. He only has like 50 more subscribers than I do, actually. But his views across his videos are pretty consistent. That's one thing that I'm kind of aspiring to on my channel, is like, I wish that whenever I release a video, every single one of my subscribers would just watch it. Like, I have 92 or 9,300 subscribers, and I don't even have 1K on the video that I released a week ago. Like, what are my subscribers doing? That's kind of what I want to know. Hey, at BarakalypseNow, I used to be your patron supporter when I could afford it. I also made a video essay about economic history using market embeddedness as a lens, using Cyberpunk 2077. Hey, don't you have a channel, Trev? I swear that you started a channel, didn't you? Yeah, here you are. And I'm already subscribed to it. Is this your cyberpunk video that you're talking about? Would be great if you could give my video a shout out, Economics of Cyberpunk 2077. So this is it, right? Yeah, here you go. If you all want a new channel to follow, here's Trev's channel. I need to give this a look myself. I'd say the influences from historical figures is a better influence from the present ones. I think there's definitely something to that, Stephen. In my mind, this is kind of a detour from your comment, but like one of my attitudes about influencers in general, like even the title influencer, is like you should never call yourself an influencer unless you're routinely taking knowledge out of a book and putting it in front of an audience, right? If you don't actually ever open a book and read and analyze what you're reading, you should never describe yourself as an influencer, right? If all you do is like you watch other people's videos and you consider yourself like informed on a subject, you're not an influencer, you've been influenced, right? The people who are doing the influencing are ones who are actually going to like academic works and synthesizing those arguments for a popular audience. And you could argue that the academics who write these books, like Philip Morowski and Mark Blythe, are the real influencers, right? They're the ones who are writing the books who YouTubers like me will then summarize and synthesize for a popular audience, right? They're the real influencers. The idea that anyone on YouTube calls themselves an influencer is really quite pathetic, in my opinion. You know, unless you're actually doing this work of going into these primary sources and like synthesizing these ideas, you're not influencing anything. You're being influenced. Fuck Peter Coffin and Jimmy Dore types. Yeah, I see we have a lot of anti Jimmy Dore sentiment. I'm just a agnostic bystander of all this. I just think it's fascinating. I dig Jamarl Thomas. He's more political news / current events, but he does good analysis. All right, let's look at that. The progressive soapbox. YouTube censorship hits fever pitch. Someone else was just saying that there was a wave of demonetization of progressive channels. Maybe this is what this guy's talking about. Another channel you might look at is Tom Nicholas. He comes more from a philosophy than purely economic / historical one, but still similar to your work. All right, let's look at that. Is it Nicholas or Nichols? Tom Nicholas, okay. Theory, politics, culture. These are some good thumbnails. Actually, I had, you see this video right here, the one with Reagan's face on it? It's called Neoliberalism from Reagan to the Gig Economy. I saw this video recommended next to my content all the time when this came out, and I never clicked on it. But I've just seen this thumbnail so many times just walking around YouTube. Jim's 1621 videos entitled A Completely Normal One. I saw that video, Gus. It was a great one. That was a great video. Kraut is good. He gave my GoFundMe a shout out. Hey, that's cool. I'm glad that you've had other YouTubers shout out your work, Trev. That's like asking why Vaush is the biggest political Twitch channel despite not being informative. I mean, I'm not claiming to know exactly how you create a channel that huge. Like, it's kind of incomprehensible to me what people like Vaush and Hassan do, because honestly, I don't think I will ever choose to participate at that level. Like, what they do on stream is like crazy. It's like they'll tweet at, you know, people with massive followings and just insert themselves into situations that personally I would never want any part of, right? Like, I said this earlier in my presentation before we actually got to the Q&A section. Like, I'm not, trying to grow my channel to like epic proportions and amass this huge following for being some kind of economic and political genius, right? I would much rather prefer to live in obscurity, to be perfectly honest. I'm not interested in being famous, but I also need the support that will allow me to do this type of work 365 days a year, right? Which means that I have to cultivate an audience, right? If I can cultivate an audience of 10,000 people and that allows me to do this type of work 365 days a year, like I'm done. I never have to find another supporter if that's the case. I'll be stuck at 10,000 subscribers forever if those 10,000 all choose to support me. I don't need a massive following. I just need the freedom that they can grant me. Rofkin is a new content creator friendly platform. So that's like a whole platform. That's like a website. Could look at that. The best way to monetize your content. The heck? This is... It looks like there's quite a lot of sports on here. Podcasts. That's interesting. I've never heard of this website before. So, oh, here's Jimmy Dore. He's already on here. Look at this. Baked Noam Chomsky on the Capitol? What is that supposed to mean? Is that supposed to be based Noam Chomsky? Or is he really trying to say baked Noam Chomsky? What does baked Noam Chomsky mean? What does that mean? I don't even know if I want to click on that. What happens if I click this button? Oh, I have to do all this shit. Never mind. That's interesting. Thanks for letting me know about that. Jimmy literally embodies what it means to be a progressive. The fact that so many people rather demonize him than bother to understand that based on the history shows that half the left is all talk. All right, I like this. Back and forth, back and forth. Barakalypse plays HOI4 Kaiserreich. Dude, if I played some games, I think I might surprise y'all with my preferences. It could be a lot of fun. I've always thought that streaming games would be like mega fun. Obviously more fun than like writing political essays, but obviously it would be a huge tragedy if I decided to stop doing this political content so that I could like stream gaming or something. I mean, it's totally trivial compared to all the crises that are happening in the world today. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but if there was a way that I could do both, I don't see why not. I mean, I think other channels have gotten to the point where they're doing both. Like, I think this guy might have be a good example. Like, doesn't this guy actually stream video games, or am I like tripping and that's somebody else? I swear to God, I heard this guy in his live stream say, "Yeah, we're gonna stream games like later today," or something. And I was like, "You can do that? How do you have a leftist channel and a gaming channel in one? That's like some dark arts shit." I didn't know that was allowed. It's like that meme, wait, that's illegal. Secret to Hassan's success is that he gives his opinion in regular speak. He makes current events relatable because he doesn't over-explain. That is such an underrated skill to have. And so many people do not understand the massive significance of speaking with concision. It's really what makes a difference between someone whose content I really love and someone who I really don't care for. Because like, let's take all these creators that I've been subscribing to for the past like 30 minutes or an hour or so. Like, I'm sure many of the arguments that they've made are top notch and totally well evidenced and thought out logically. But at some point, I'm going to be listening to what they're saying, and I'm going to be like, this dude could have said all of this in like 40 less sentences, right? And that's really going to piss me off because I'm analyzing the content from the perspective of like a writer, right? And to me, concision is one of the main principles of good writing, right? So if you take like 40 sentences to explain something that really only requires 2 sentences, I'm going to tune out because I'm going to be like, you don't understand concision, right? That's why my videos, despite being 40 minutes long, are packed with like, more information than the average person can absorb in one sitting, right? Because it's all concision. The fake left is every bit as degenerate and ignorant as the right. Well, I don't agree with you. I think even the most degenerate left wing person would probably be preferable as a leader than the most degenerate right wing person. But I won't deny the fact that there are plenty of people who love to espouse leftist ideals, but then cannot be bothered to take any real action, even to improve their own life. Not even to improve the world around them, but to improve their own life. Right? I see this in a lot of people who I would otherwise agree with politically if I didn't know that really they're just seekers of the path of least resistance, right? You know, we'll have a conversation and we'll agree on all points. And then when it comes to actually like taking the steps to improve yourself and your surroundings, like they can't be bothered. So, I'm not disagreeing with you there, but like I would never lower the most degenerate left wing person to the most degenerate right wing person. The most degenerate right wing person would just shoot you in the face for even like suggesting that you're not down with the idea of like a Christian theocracy. Love Mark Blythe too. Yeah, he's a beast. Another channel you might look at is Renegade Cut. He used to do mainly film analysis, but became more and more political and now does general leftist political videos. I've heard of this channel. Actually, someone in my comments suggested that this guy, a lot of his viewers were coming over to my channel. It's kind of like an adjacent channel to me. I like these thumbnails. I really appreciate someone who makes good thumbnails, because honestly, a thumbnail is really like the ultimate currency on YouTube. It's like if you can catch someone's eye, you really have a leg up on other creators. And like my own channel is like, if we go to my own channel for a second, like I feel like my thumbnails on my actual like video essays are good and they're eye-catching, but with my streams and everything that's not an actual essay, like they're kind of shitty, in my personal opinion. Like I just kind of have to throw them together because I don't bother to put in as much effort on these types of thumbnails as my actual political content. But I think these thumbnails on my political content are quite good, personally. Don't listen to the Jimmy Dore dissenters, Brock. They're all immature children who have no idea what they're talking about. Well, I mean, I'm not making an opinion just because I'm not a regular viewer of his channel. So everything that I am hearing is from y'all. It's all hearsay to me. I don't even have the information to make an informed decision. That's such a great take on influencers. Something about Texans, man. I think Texas will be the battleground for political change and party balance in the near future. I don't think you're wrong about that. I mean, the day that Texas stops being a conservative stronghold will probably be the day that their whole party crumbles. And that would be a pretty glorious thing to see, right? I mean, I think leftists from Texas tend to be pretty sharp, but I mean, we're clearly just, floating on a life raft surrounded by an ocean of fucking dummies, right? That's how I feel. I live in Austin, Texas, and the sensation of being in Austin, Texas is like being on an oasis in the middle of like a toxic wasteland. It gets kind of fucking boring after a while. Just like feeling like you can't go anywhere in this state. All the other cities in Texas I don't care for. It's like I want to live in Austin or not even in this state at all. Tom's latest video on cancel culture is great. You're talking about Tom Nichols, right? Didn't I already subscribe to him? Yeah, I did. Why isn't it here? So this video that he came out with a day ago. What are your thoughts about the track record of the professional managerial class? That's a interesting question. The professional managerial class is a concept that I don't remember where I picked it up from. It was either a book or an article that I read on like truthout.org or something. But I think Adam Curtis also talks about the professional managerial class in his films. When you say the track record, what exactly does that mean? Hey, I really like your videos. Keep on doing what you're doing. Hey, thanks. IATOA. I really appreciate that compliment. The struggle for anonymous but financially supportive content. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just want to be very explicit about the fact that I'm really after the support, and the number of supporters is really kind of irrelevant to me. You know, I have another friend who creates content for YouTube that's not necessarily political, and we both have this conversation a lot where it's like, if you go to someone like a popular reaction channel, let's say, I don't know, this guy. If you go to this guy's channel and you see that he has 1.07 million subscribers, you're like, wow, that's a lot. But then realize that, his average subscriber is not equal to your subscriber. Like, just because they're both a subscriber doesn't mean that they're as devoted to his channel or as down with his mission. They might just be, some random short attention span bystander who really only watches like the first 10 seconds of his videos and then calls it quits, right? Not every subscriber is created equal. So I'm trying to find the subscribers that are actually super down with this channel and not just like sitting in my lifeboat, like waiting to watch the first 10 seconds of my content, right? And it kind of seems like that's the case now, because my video that I released last week, I mean, it only has 427 views, right? I have 9,200 subscribers. Like, where are my other 8,800 subscribers right now? I mean, I'm not being salty. I'm just saying, like, it takes me a long time to make a video. So when I do make one, I would expect that my subscribers are like ready to bite on it. Rofkin started out as a sports talk platform. That's interesting. I could definitely see that. It's a fake caller who does a Chomsky voice. Okay, that's a explanation that I was looking for. Innuendo Studios has great stuff. He's only done shorts this year. His alt-right playbook series was awesome. Yeah, I've actually seen part of the alt-right playbook. I'm glad that you brought that up. Because, yeah, I did watch his video on, which one was it? It was How to Radicalize a Normie. Yeah, I watched this one. That was a great video. I'm definitely subscribing to that. I'm in Jimmy's corner too. I will concede he's had some big hiccups from time to time, and I understand that his loudmouth style isn't for everyone. I mean, he was a career comedian before he got into politics, so I think that's just part of his personality. And I think it makes sense that not everyone is attracted to his personality, but I mean, if you're going to do politics, you have to come correct. Like, you can't be, making big missteps all the time. You're going to lose your credibility pretty quickly. Barack game streamer sellout arc. Dude, I'm really trying to avoid that arc, man, because, I really enjoy gaming, and gaming to me is kind of like the carrot at the end of the stick that I use to like get my videos out sometimes. So, if I could actually monetize both sides of that coin, I would be sitting pretty. in my opinion. Vouch does play games. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, that's to me, that's like an ideal end game. To get to the point where you have a politics and a gaming following. I mean, what more could you ask for? That's a pretty awesome existence. Dark arts shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like that's completely dark arts shit. Like I didn't even know that was possible. Thought Slime and ContraPoints do live games. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, guys. I don't know what kind of games y'all are into, but like I have games that I love playing, and I would be willing to stream them on Twitch if y'all would be willing to watch. Because yeah, when I finish a video like a neoliberalism video, for instance, like I gotta unwind after that. I'm not thinking about this shit for at least 2 or 3 months before I start the next one. Hassan did a stream with AOC and played Among Us. Dude, that's some next level shit. Can you imagine playing a stream with a member of Congress? That's just like that's so 2020. I'm not even making fun of that either. That's like remarkable to me. I love that that happened. Mark Blythe, Martin Wolf, Steve Keen, Ha-Jun Chang, Michael Hudson, Rana Faruhar, probably more I can't think of at the moment. If you want to take influence from current figures, consider these. That's an excellent list you just made. I mean, Mark Blythe, Stephen Keen, I know of for sure. He actually has a Patreon page that I've looked at, and he's doing massively successfully on there. Um, Michael Hudson, also excellent. The other two I have to look up, but that's a sweet list that you just made. Many leftists find those like Jimmy Dore to be uncouth, and his aesthetic alone can be a turnoff. That stated, many poor people don't have the time to absorb theory; they need action. Dore isn't an enemy. Yeah, I think that you're generally correct about that. Um, it's very difficult to get people invested in the idea of like an alternate social paradigm if they have to digest like 12 fucking textbooks worth of Marxist theory just to arrive at the point where they're allowed to participate, right? That's always going to be a barrier, especially to a working class audience that, has to spend like 40 or 50 hours of their life at work every week, right? And when they come home, what, you think they're going to open up fucking Kropotkin and start doing homework in their time off? Like, no, someone's got to do that fucking work for them. Someone's got to synthesize all that for them. Leftism is egalitarianism, and many people I hear claiming to be left just want authority behind their own views and preference to someone else's. We don't even understand leftism here. Yeah, I mean, I think that's by design, though. Like, the left has been so maligned and destroyed in this country that to even get people to consider these ideas is quite difficult. So it makes sense that even the people who have arrived at these ideas and consider themselves leftists might not even comprehend the positions to which they've subscribed to. And it's not always their fault. It's like the ideas of the left have been so fragmented and scattered to the wind by years of very concerted effort. Renegades Inc. on Russia Today has exceptional interviews with researchers and thinkers above even INET quality. Wow, is that a YouTube channel? Or you said Russia Today? Renegades Inc. How do I find that? Is this what you're talking about? Is it this channel? Or I see these videos on on RTUK. Maybe I'll just see what this is about. Oh, here's Michael Hudson. Is this what you were talking about? Just look at their playlist on RT. I'll just subscribe to both of these so that I'm not missing it. All right. Thank you for that recommendation. Hey, Barack, how can one improve their concision skills? I think you mean concision. I have a problem with breaking things down in a simple way as well for complex subjects. Hey, that's a great question, Andy. So, the thing about writing with concision or writing concisely is you have to really scrutinize your sentence structure and constantly be asking yourself the same question over and over again, which is it possible that I could convey the exact same meaning of this sentence with less words, right? And the way that you know that you've arrived at that point is if you've written a sentence and you remove even one sentence from the entire thing, or if you remove even one word from the entire sentence and the sentence no longer makes sense because of that, because you remove that one word, then you've arrived at concision. Because if you can remove one word and the sentence loses all of its meaning, then every single part is necessary. And that's my, rubric for how to decide if a sentence is concise or not. Seems like your audio and video just went out of sync a little, just FYI. Yeah, I'm sorry. The latency setting is not on the lowest latency, and that's my bad. I'll correct it for next time. I hope the audio quality is good though. That's all I really care about at this moment. Love your work, longtime Patreon, but your stuff is so dense it takes full focus to follow. We need that, but we also need people who can tell it in a more diluted, easy listening way. Hey, thanks, Martin, and thanks for being a longtime patron. I really appreciate you being here. Yeah, I'm trying to be as concise as possible with the neoliberalism series, but I'm also trying not to sacrifice any complexity, because I think that's part of what makes my content unique. A lot of channels will try to dilute something in an easy listening way, like you're saying, and that helps them reach. excuse me, that helps them reach a larger audience, but it also doesn't help set their channel apart, right? I think that what sets my channel apart is I try not to sacrifice the complexity and I still try to be as concise as possible, right? So, of course, that's going to inhibit the growth of my audience, and that's kind of what this stream is about: is trying to brainstorm ways to increase my audience without sacrificing the quality of my videos. And this is a knot that I have to unravel, and thankfully, I have all of you to help me with that. I'm from Texas originally. I'm in Washington now. Hey, that's cool, Steven. Where in Texas did you live? San Antonio ain't too bad. You're right about that. San Antonio isn't too bad. I actually spent a year studying in San Antonio before I moved to Austin. I did my freshman year of college in San Antonio. I've got family in Dallas and San Antonio, so I understand. Yeah, I mean, San Antonio, I think is pretty cool. It's kind of like Austin's little brother. Dallas, I don't like at all. I think Dallas is trash. But maybe, Dallas has the same problem that Houston has, which is like it's completely surrounded by this impenetrable web of highways. And, you have to drive for like 4 hours just to get to the city center, which is actually the cool part, right? The cool parts of those cities are like right in the center of the city where there's lots of stuff to do. But even to get to the city center, you have to go through like this insane impenetrable web of highways, which just sucks. Adam Curtis February 11th viewing party. Does he have something coming out on February 11th? Is that why you're suggesting that? I think there's a setting in your live stream called low latency mode. I'd use that next time. Yeah, so normally what I do is I go with the ultra low latency mode, but this time I just went with the regular low latency because I don't know, I was afraid that it was going to compromise my video quality a little bit, but now I know that that was a mistake, and next time I'm going to go with ultra low latency like I usually do. Regarding track record, I mean the social contract we seem to have that producing competitive professionals at high cost to the society in order to create a competent class of managers, organizers, etc. We have had years of this contract and the promises that go along with it, and the world is upside down. I think I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, the conventional logic would state, like, you know, if we create this system of higher education that produces these professionals who engage in this competitive market, you know, they're going to be the individual agents who go out and stimulate the economy using the skills that they've learned and the incomes that they bring in. And they're just going to make our society flourish because, you know, they're rational, utility maximizing individuals who just know how to make these really great decisions. And the moment you pop that bubble, that illusion, and you demonstrate that, you know, actually these highly educated professional people make some of the most unscrupulous, most indefensible, amoral, or unethical decisions, you know, among us all, it kind of shatters that whole illusion of that perfect system. Notifications get buried under other notifications pretty quickly if you subscribe to several channels. Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I've never really been subscribed to many channels. But you know, today has just been an effort to try and acquaint myself with the larger leftist ecosystem to which I am a part. So I think it's about time that I started paying attention to some of these things. Something essential that your series made clear is the link between democratic neoliberalism and Republican libertarianism, an essential way to prove that the two parties are not very different. I'm really glad that you grasped that point, Stephen, because it's a really important one to me. Um, you know, I think one of the massive uh, benefits of understanding neoliberalism is it actually could result in uh, quite powerful bipartisanship between rank and file Democrats and Republicans, right? Even though that sounds impossible, I mean, imagine you had these Democrats who are aware that they have a neoliberal wing of their party, and you have Republicans who realize that they have a neoliberal wing of their party. And the goal would be to just isolate the neoliberal wings of both parties. And that's how you create bipartisanship. Like, bipartisanship today is a joke because the bipartisanship is between the neoliberal wings of the parties, right? That's why it's not a virtue. But bipartisanship could be a virtue if we were able to actually marginalize the neoliberal wings of both the major parties. You know, the Republican Party doesn't need to be completely derelict and absent of any principles, right? We had Republicans like Eisenhower who were very good presidents. Like, you know, I don't hold out a lot of hope that we're going to go back to that form of republicanism, but you know, as long as that history exists, it's always possible. You should stream yourself playing ZZT. What is ZZT? I've never heard of that. What games do you play? So I play lots of games. I have quite a big variety, but lately what I've been really into is Hades by Supergiant Games and Hunt Showdown, which is by Crytek. Um, I play a lot of The Last of Us. The first one has a multiplayer setting, which I really love. So I play that on PS4. Um, and I have a pretty extensive Steam library of stuff that I haven't even touched. Uh, just games that are collecting dust that I don't allow myself to play because I haven't finished my neoliberalism series. I'm not watching video games, but I think there is a big need for decent leftist streamer catching people who might fall into the influence of Jabba the Vouch. I assume you're talking about this guy. this guy, he seems very knowledgeable, but he also seems kind of polarizing. I mean, I've only watched one of his streams, so I don't want to pass judgment on him, but um, he seemed like the kind of guy that kind of like me, took a bunch of debate classes in school and then, made that very central to his personality, which, that's not unlike myself, but I'm trying not to like use my stream to completely shit on people all the time. I'd rather just use it to learn and have good conversation. The long and irregular pauses between your videos are a real problem though. As far as I know, YouTube definitely recommends channel with regular uploads. Far more and buries like you. Yeah, I think you're 100% correct about that. I mean, the fact that I don't upload regularly is a big problem. And I think that by compiling the streams that I'll be doing on Patreon, I'll at least have a monthly upload on YouTube every single month. And that will be a big improvement over last year where there was like one video in the entire fucking year, right? And then there was a stream and that was it, right? So maybe it's not all the way up to like daily or weekly content, but it's at least a step in the right direction. H Bomber Guy is a leftist who talks about video games and plays them for money. Dude, that was the person I was trying to remember this whole time. See this right here? This is some dark arts shit. This guy has a channel that's about politics and gaming simultaneously. And when I saw this, I was like, wait, that's illegal. Like, how can you do that? I mean, he just came out with a video on what was it, Fallout New Vegas? Where's his New Vegas video? Yeah, here it is. I haven't seen this yet, but I was like, dude, that's such a hack. Only reason I don't like Dore and other dirtbag comedian types is that they were doing voter suppression by supporting Trump over Dems. That's stupid material analysis or controlled opposition. Was he really supporting Trump? That's kind of like a bridge too far for me. I mean, as much as I hate neoliberal Democrats, I wouldn't, decide to support Trump because I hate them that much. Dore wasn't supporting Trump. That's just a lie. Okay. Back and forth, back and forth. H Bomber Guy did that big fundraiser playing a Donkey Kong marathon. That sounds like fun. Seriously, RT is the worst misinformation controlled opposition. They do have some good economist guests on sometimes, though. I think that's what the previous commenter was saying, though, with that Renegades Inc. Like, if we look at this channel, this is all interviews with different people. So maybe this is different enough from their normal coverage that it actually is trustworthy. Like, I kind of want to watch this interview with Michael Hudson. This seems really interesting. I swear some people are allergic to anything Russian. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to hate them when it's so clear they're behind so much instability in the US at the moment. But I agree, you can't just hate Russia on principle for being Russia, right? They're still a country that's suffering under their own, neoliberal dictatorship, under their own, propaganda. And, we have to be in solidarity with the Russian people, as much as we hate how nefarious their intelligence service is, they're fucking up everything right now. Yes, February 11th, new series coming out. Watch the trailer on YouTube. Does Adam Curtis have a YouTube channel? Adam Curtis documentary. Is this the video you were talking about? I'm probably not going to react to anything on stream just because I'm not comfortable yet with the idea of just like doing a reaction to something. Reactions fall into that category of like low effort content to me. So I haven't decided, I haven't had that conversation with myself yet, whether I want to do reaction content yet. So I'm probably not going to watch it, but on stream, but like maybe I'll watch it in my spare time. Frank Analysis has a video, Is Rofkin the best alternative for independent media with Nico House? Rofkin chooses its content creators and you might already be eligible with your catalog and bio. I see. Is Frank Analysis a YouTube channel? Yeah, it is. It's a pretty small channel. Oh, is Rofkin the best alternative to independent media? This is a pretty cool looking production value. I'll subscribe. Vaush is okay. I debated him on socialism. Wow, you debated Vaush? Was that like on a stream or in a video or would just like in a comment section or something? I quite like his edgy content. I tolerate the video games mostly, but it's something to look at while he talks. I figure that my content could kind of be the same. I mean, video games are political, right? Everyone here, is probably not going to find that statement very controversial. And I think that, I could play games and definitely draw parallels between the political realities of the world. And that seems like something that would be really fun for me. And, I've never seen what this guy Vaush is like when he's playing games, but I imagine he does a similar thing. Lol, I could recommend a channel, but I doubt y'all would like it. Well, you just set yourself up. Now you have to show us what it is. What do you think of the People's Party? They appear to have a good understanding of what neoliberalism is. You're not the first person to bring up the People's Party in this stream. Is there like a website I can go to learn more about them? I guess I could just Google it. Movement for a People's Party. Is this what you're talking about? What is their platform? That could really help. Wait, what are you saying? Responding to leftist ecosystem. Something that could really help are collaborations with other channels, e.g. a shout out like Thought Slime's Eyeball Zone / Solidarity Corner. Hey, Martin, I think you're totally right about that. Actually, something I did do recently was I tried to make a pitch for the Surfs to feature my channel on their channel. And I got a response from them, but it was basically like, oh, sorry, we weren't clear about what actually we wanted. We wanted you to make a pitch directly to our audience, not to us in particular. And so I don't think they used my video because I made the pitch directly to them, like the runners of that channel. But then whenever I made my Going Pro video that came out 7 days ago, I was like, well, maybe you could just link them to this instead because I don't want to make a brand new video, just for the Surfs right now. But you said Thought Slime has a solidarity. Wow, I can't speak. Solidarity Corner. Let's look at that. Thought Slime. Okay, there's not a playlist here. Is there a website? Is this something that he has like on Patreon? Solidarity Corner? I don't see anything on here. Yeah, I like Vaush. He's pretty good. I mean, it seemed like he was very knowledgeable. It's just sort of a question of whether you gravitate to someone's personality or not. And I'm sure that there are people who don't gravitate to Vaush's personality, even though he seems very knowledgeable. And I understand that. I mean, He seems like one of those content creators that kind of traffics in memes, which is not for everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that. He is the typical debate bro like Destiny, but I think he's better personality in tone. Is Destiny a channel that I should look at? I see that name thrown around as well. Is this the channel? Destiny. It's at the end of each of his videos. Oh, you're talking about Thought Slime, aren't you? Okay, I'm not seeing it. But I'll look for it after the fact. Yeah, I'll look for it maybe off stream. Vaush lost me with his pettiness. I mean, I think that's just you know, a take it or leave it thing with him. You know, I don't think he's going to compromise his style for anyone, and there's nothing wrong with that either. No one was supporting Trump over Dems. That's part of the fight that goes on between leftists. In my opinion, there are purists that denote any kind of pointing to how the right can have sense as support of them. Yeah, I think that you're making a decent point there. Like, even the Republicans, well, you know, the idiom goes, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? And I mean, I think it's not impossible that Republicans they can have the correct position on something. The difference is that whenever Republicans take the correct position on something, even though that by itself is extremely rare when that happens, it's usually for completely nefarious reasons, right? So maybe, you know, they decide, okay, well, you know, maybe we're going to let this COVID relief through, but it's because we introduced some pork spending for, like, I don't know, people who own yachts in Florida or something. Like, you know, so even when they arrive at the correct decision, you can't really trust that they're doing it because of principles. Are you familiar with the Congress for Cultural Freedom? Think CIA sponsored synthetic leftism dating back half a century. That sounds like a Wikipedia search. Congress for Cultural Freedom was an anti-communist advocacy group founded in 1950. In 1966, it was revealed that the CIA was instrumental in establishing and funding the group. Yeah, that sounds pretty CIA to me. Yes, that's the trailer. So you were talking about the Adam Curtis video, right? Wait, that's not what I said. So this is the trailer docuseries. Okay, so I'll keep this in mind for later. Honestly, as a Latin American, the irony of someone from the US complaining about the instability Russia creates is not lost on me. I imagine that's how, like, everyone from any country the US has ever destabilized feels. It's like, yeah, Americans, it doesn't feel so good, does it? You fucking idiots. Why would you like why would you perpetrate this on so many different people and then, like, complain when it comes back to haunt you? Like, it makes perfect sense that Russia is doing this to us. It's like such a great play from their perspective. It's like, yeah, we're never going to beat America's military. We just need to unravel them from within. And Americans are so fucking stupid, they'll do our dirty work for us. They'll tear themselves apart. It's fucking brilliant. I mean, Putin is a maniacally evil individual, but he's definitely not stupid. He's mega intelligent, and he's making America look like fucking weaklings right now. Yeah, I uploaded my debate with Vouch to my channel. I'll look at that. What is the video called? Oh wait, it's this one, isn't it? Trevkin debates Vouch on market socialism, Leadism, and mixed economies. So were you just debating him like while he was streaming something? Looks like he was streaming. I don't know what this game is. Were you just debating him like from the chat room, or were you actually speaking to him? I'm not going to watch this on stream, by the way. I might look at it later though. Thought Slime does this thing called the eyeball zone, where in the middle of his videos he promotes a random small leftist creator to send eyeballs their way. Oh, that's awesome. That's definitely something I need to be part of. So it's in the middle of the videos. It's not at the end. Someone mentioned that it was at the end, and that's where I was looking. I think I would actually have to watch the video to really like understand what you're saying, because I don't want to watch the video right now with the stream going, but I will definitely pay attention to this. Thought Slime ends every video with a shout out to a smaller leftist creator. So is it in the middle or is it at the end? I feel like I'm getting mixed messages. Destiny is the original Vouch but liberal. Same format and general attitude. Vouch kind of emulated him. Oh, that's interesting. I'll definitely keep that in mind. MPP don't seem a real socialist alternative, unfortunately. They're grifters. Until we have proportional representation, third parties should be used to pressure, not sabotage their sides. So you're talking about Movement for a People's Party. They're grifters? I like these speakers. Look for eyeballs. You mean in the Thought Slime videos? I'm gonna watch one of his videos after the stream, because I think I'm just gonna be like scrolling through this all day if I'm just clicking on it. The very image where he was standing in the coffee shop was when he was doing Solidarity Corner. Oh, you mean this one? Okay, I understand what you're saying now. So I'll watch this section of the video from 24 minutes on. Okay, I understand now. The complaining of the right about Central/South Americans fleeing the destruction presided over by the U.S. fleeing to the U.S. is pretty astonishing. Yeah, well, it really illustrates the depth of the ignorance of the American electorate, right? Like, if they understood that America was primarily responsible for the destabilization of that region, it would make sense why all these people were appearing on our doorstep. But like, our country doesn't understand its own history. And, even with Mexico, we don't understand why all these Mexican people are arriving on the US's doorstep, and it's like, well, maybe if we weren't like so busy purchasing drugs from Mexico and contributing to the cartel's domination of that region, they wouldn't want to fucking leave their own country for this one, right? We just don't ever perceive our complicity in the situations that we ourselves create. What do you make of the Wall Street bets fiasco? Well, I have to come clean and say I actually did participate in it a little bit, uh, just because I was looking to try and make a little bit of money. But the interference in the market when they restricted buying kind of ruined that for me. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of salty about it. But I chalk it up to a expensive learning experience. I think that that company still has a future, so I don't mind holding on to the shares. Uh, but I just imagine what it would have been like had they not restricted purchasing that stock, and what the stock price might have been if I waited just another day. I could have just closed my position and made a lot, but I was like, okay, well, it's not done yet, you know. But no one could possibly predict that they were going to restrict like the trading of that stock, right? And that was kind of like shattering the illusion that we live in a free market, right? It was completely unprecedented. Uh, I don't understand how MPP are grifters for disagreeing with you about tactics. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think saying anyone is a grifter is a big claim. I mean, you got to prove at that point that they're just literally like swindling people, right? It establishes a lot of proof that you have to demonstrate to call someone a grifter, right? Like, I wouldn't mind someone who said that Ben Shapiro is a grifter, right? Because there's like plenty of evidence you can summon that he just does what he does to sell books to fucking conservatives who don't know shit about anything, right? He doesn't care about what leftist thinks. He just cares about what conservative know nothings think so that they keep buying his books, right? And keep watching his podcast or whatever. He's not an intellectual. He's the gold standard of a grifter. But to say that, this group is grifting, that's kind of a big claim. I haven't heard anyone recommend We're in Hell yet. His videos are excellent. Let's look at that. I'll leave that one open, and I'll leave that one open. I'll look at this right here. Thirty-seven 37K subscribers. That's cool. Doomsday Preppers, Neoliberalism, Fascism, and the Apocalypse. That sounds cool. Thought Slime changed the format about a month ago. Okay, so this is his newest video though. So I think I found the section where he's actually talking about the Solidarity Corner. So I think we're good. It took me a while to find it. I also made a video about the WSB pump and dump. I should be writing a follow-up video now, actually. I mean, I don't want to come off as someone who's salty about GameStop, but like, I wouldn't describe it as a pump and dump just because, like, the stock short play was real. Like, they were actually going to lose a lot if they hadn't literally restricted the trading of that stock, right? I don't think it can be categorized as a normal pump and dump because they really were getting exposed. Their short positions were getting exposed. And then they just stopped the trade of the stock, which predictably tanked the price of the stock. And, they won again. I think the illusion of the free market was long time broken, especially after your neoliberalism vids, Barack. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm neck deep in this research, right? I don't have any illusions about whether we live in a free market or not, but I'm saying, like, for the average person who doesn't think about these ideas that deeply, the idea that these brokerages could just say, Actually, you're not allowed to trade this stock anymore because hedge funds short positions are exposed and we need to protect them. That is like the greatest evidence that you will ever get that our market is not free, right? It's literally like dick slapping you across the face with the truth, right? You're not allowed to participate. Like, understand this. Tim Pool Drifter. Do you mean Grifter? Isn't Tim Pool like a right wing YouTuber? I've seen lots of people trying to refute his positions. Proof MPP are grifters. They all oppose Dems more than Republicans in 2020. That's the biggest evidence I need. What do you mean? Oh, they oppose Dems more than Republicans? How is that possible? How could they oppose Dems more than Republicans and have a speaker group like this? Do they have anything in support of right wing conservatives on here? Why not reform the Democratic Party? Entrenched corporate parties cannot be reformed. The Democratic Party does not operate democratically. Independent parties have been instrumental in bringing about progressive change. Why not join the Green Party? I'm very ignorant about this party, so you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm trying to learn from you all right now. Especially with favors in terms of big monopoly like businesses, I don't think that these are good in terms of having a free market environment. Yeah, I mean, I'm not suggesting that we actually live in a free market, but I mean, the free market is the meme that enables this massive wealth consolidation to exist in the first place. So that's why I keep stating it. You should invest in some blockchain projects like Ethereum and Chainlink to help the channel. Uh, you know, cryptocurrency, I haven't really gravitated towards. I really like the blockchain technology more than the cryptocurrency personally. Um, I mean, I do hold a little bit of Bitcoin, but it's only like $200 worth. And it was really just an experiment. I wasn't really going all in on the concept. But I don't know. Maybe that's another avenue I could investigate. As long as you aren't losing living expenses holding that stock, you are sticking it to Wall Street. They borrowed against those stocks. Yeah, it wasn't like an amount that would ruin me if I lost it. And at one point, I actually did double my money shortly before the price tanked. So I'm kind of wishing that I had closed my position and not waited another day. But I mean, could the conditions have been any more dramatic? Like they literally stopped the trade of stock. Not so much grift, but strong tactical arguments over supporting Dems/Biden or opposed Dems and reps equally. Jimmy Dore was trying to platform Boogaloo Boys. That's something else I heard in this stream. And then some people were like, that's not exactly what happened. GameStop short squeeze had real fundamentals. Anyone who doesn't know hasn't done due diligence. Robinhood and other brokers stopped trading. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the short squeeze play was real, and then they crushed it by restricting trading. So I don't consider it a pump and dump because there actually was a play to expose the short positions. And I don't know if there is still a hope that we could expose the short positions. Some people are still saying that it's shorted, but since the price is so much lower now, it's not going to be nearly as effective because they could just cover quite easily. But I mean, it's not a loss until you've sold it, right? They don't support the right, but I feel it's better to oppose them's just as much. I mean, I kind of tend to agree just because, like, there's no hope of ever reforming the Republican Party, right? The Republican Party is a fucking snake pit Whereas the Democratic Party, you could actually work with. They're just obstinate, right? And, you have to be obstinate in your disapproval of their decisions if you want them to actually change it all. And the most important thing you could do is like literally primary them as a Democrat, right? That's how we've gotten every single one of these like really awesome, figures, on this list. These people all ran as Democrats. So I'm not convinced that third parties are actually instrumental in actually gaining more good representatives in Congress. I think they're really great at spreading awareness about crucial issues and actually creating a contrast in their platform versus the Democratic Party's platform. Like if you compare the platforms of these two parties, I think clearly you would prefer the platform of the People's Party, but it's like at the end of the day, you gotta run in the Democratic race because that's the ticket into the circus, right? For better or worse. We need to be speaking to the right if we are to convert them. There is a place for everyone on the left. Boogaloo people probably agree with progressive policy if they understand history. That's a really good point. I mean, I don't want to agree that you should platform Boogaloo boys and people who espouse those types of ideas, but I do think that people are not forever lost. People are always capable of being persuaded to believe better things. And I think that that's possible with lots of people on the right. I mean, they they do things for very emotional reasons, and if you can convince them that supporting leftist policies is really going to help them, I think you should go for it. But I also think that you should not waste your time on people who are strategically avoiding information that would help them. Hey Barack, do you think it would be a good idea to make a scholarly analysis of the stock market and what role it's supposed to hold in future vids? I think that would be a really fascinating topic. Although I think after I'm done with neoliberalism, I will be so burnt out on economics in general. I don't know if I would have the stamina to start tackling the stock market after that. Although the stock market is something I want to learn about just for my own personal life, so maybe it will naturally find a way onto the channel. So I just want to point out it's almost 3 p.m. and I've been streaming since noon. So this is going to be a hefty 3-hour stream, y'all. I really appreciate everyone who showed up to the stream today. It was really awesome and really fun. And I actually made my first ever, I actually got my first ever donations on stream. Let me go back up and find out who that was. That was, oh my God, I can't even scroll back far enough to find the first donation. I remember for a fact the first donation in the chat was Mateo, and then it was Steven Ramirez, and then it was Mohanjan. Thank you so much for those chat donations. That's the first time I've ever gotten a donation in a chat. That was super cool. So I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all listening to my case and listening to my persuasive argument for becoming a patron. If you want to check out my Patreon campaign now, I'll just toss this link in the chat. And please consider joining me on there. I think we're going to have a great upcoming year full of fun and great videos to speak about. And I would really love to have you if you will consider supporting me. Wow, thank you for that donation, Dana Jim. I really appreciate that. That's so nice of you. So yeah, I really appreciate you all joining my stream today. I appreciate you listening to my persuasive case for becoming a patron. I hope that you will join me on Patreon. Thank you, Ross, for that $2 donation. That's super awesome of you. And I'm really hope that you enjoyed the stream today. I hope that you enjoyed, talking about all these different channels that you introduced me to. These are all super cool looking channels that I hope to become more acquainted with in the days and months to follow. And I just appreciate you all being here. This was super fun stream for me. And if you are a patron of mine, you should look forward to another stream that is going to be exclusively for patrons 1 week from today at the same time, Sunday noon on February 14th. It's a stream that's going to be exclusively for patrons, and it's going to be the first of my weekly recurring streams that are exclusively for patrons. And then every 4 weeks, I'm going to take the contents of those streams and I'm going to edit them into a video that I'm going to upload on YouTube. So if you're just a YouTube subscriber, you can look forward to a video every month, just showing you some highlights from the streams that are actually taking place on Patreon. But if you want to participate in those streams as they're happening, you should become a patron so that you can view those streams directly and be part of those yourself. Hey, last one. Follow Caleb Maupin, Serious Political Economic Analysis. All right, let's look at this. $14.7K. Lol, no, Maupin is a hack. All right, we have dissent in the chat again. I love it. Well, look, this was in the middle of my outro, guys. So thank you for being in this stream today. I really appreciate all of you. And like I said, if you're a patron, look forward to another stream 1 week from today. And please stay in contact with me. I'm going to be starting work on my next major project immediately. And I hope that I can get it out fast. But I just want to reiterate one last time, I cannot speed up the process of publishing these videos without the support that I asked for in my video that I published 1 week ago today. So if you want to go back and watch that video and get acquainted with what specifically I'm asking for, please do that because it's crucial for me at this moment. But thank you all for being here. I really love this conversation and I really loved this stream today. So have a great rest of your Sunday, y'all. Take it easy.